Okay, good morning everybody, and Hazak Ubaruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday morning, third day of Hanukkah. And we are studying a little bit about the holiday that we are in. It all begins with the Gemara Masechet Shabbat, page 21, Chaf Aleph, Amud Bet. And take a look at the Gemara, my friends. The Gemara says the following: My Hanukkah, what is Hanukkah? The Tanu Rabbanan, as the rabbis learned, B'chaf Hei Kislev, on the 25th of Kislev, which was just 2 days ago, Sunday, 3 days ago. Yomed de Hanukkah, these are the days of Hanukkah. Tamnaya and Nun, 8 days. Delo le mispad behon, we don't eulogize. Delo le tanot behon, we don't fast. Why? Why do we have 8 days of celebration over here all of a sudden? Shekshenichnesu yevanim lahechal, when the Greeks came into the hechal, when the Greeks came into our sanctuary, this is in the time of Hanukkah, they contaminated all of the oil that was in the sanctuary. When the Greeks, when the Hashmonaim, when the Jews came in and overpowered them, Nithum, they defeated them. Vatku, they searched, but they only found one flask of oil, which was stamped with the seal of the Kohen Gadol. There was only enough oil to last one day. The miracle happened, and they were able to light with this one flask, which usually should go out after one day. They were able to extend it over 8 days of time. And L'shana Acheret, the next year, Kav'um ve'asa'um, Yamim Tovim, they made them into a holiday, Behalel ve'hoda'ah, with respect to Halel and Thanksgiving. Okay? So this is a very nice summary of what exactly Hanukkah is, that the Jews defeated the Greeks, they came in, and the miracle of the oil lit for 8 days instead of one. And it's very interesting. Did you notice something that's missing here in the episode of the way the Gemara recounts the story? Do you notice right away a problem with how the Gemara says over the story, the summary? The summary focuses mainly on the miracle of, which miracle? The oil. Very good. But it doesn't at all really go into the details of the miracle of the battle. If you want to know more about the battle, then you have to turn to the prayer book where we say the Ala Nisim, and then over there it's very elaborative about you rapta et ribam, masarta giborim be'al halashim, you gave the strong into the weak, and the many into the few, and the wicked into the righteous, and the impure into the pure, and you made a great miracle. So the war is only discussed really in the Ala Nisim. The Gemara leaves out the miracle of the battle. Why? Why doesn't the Gemara go into the miracle of the battle? And therefore, to answer this question, we have to rephrase what the Gemara is asking. The Gemara is not asking, what is Hanukkah? The Gemara is not asking, tell me the story of Hanukkah, Daddy. That's how the Gemara is telling us. You want the story of Hanukkah? Go read the book of Maccabees. You want the story of Hanukkah? Go find it somewhere else. What the Gemara means when it says, my Hanukkah, is not what is Hanukkah. Rather, why is Hanukkah? What does that mean, why is Hanukkah? Why is Hanukkah a holiday? Why is Hanukkah a holiday? There are many nisim that happen throughout history. There are many miracles. You want to go through history, we could find a ton of things that happened that were miraculous. We don't make a holiday for every miracle that happened. Or else maybe every single day of the Jewish calendar would be filled with a holiday. We would never go to work. As it is, we take off too many days from work, right? Unless you're a rabbi, then you work even on Shabbat and Yom Kippur. But other people, they have to take off on holidays. So what's going on over here? Why are you making a holiday out of this miracle? We can maybe ask, Ma nishtana ha-miracle hazeh mikol ha-miracles? Why is this miracle different than all other miracles? Many miracles happen, we don't make holidays out of them. When Yehoshua crossed the Jordan with the people into the land of Israel, we didn't make a holiday out of that day. The sea split for Yehoshua. He stopped the sun. Many miracles. What's unique about the holiday of Hanukkah? That's the question of the Gemara. So now when we go back and we reread this Gemara, we're not asking, what is Hanukkah? Tell me the story of Hanukkah. Because then yes, Ikar Haser min Sefer, you're missing the main point. The battle is the main part. But we're not asking what's Hanukkah. We're not asking for a summary of Hanukkah. We're asking for the reason of Hanukkah. Why is Hanukkah different? What's the message of the holiday of Hanukkah? What is that message that's so important for us to make a holiday out of it? That is the question, and that's a great question. And what is the answer to this question? Well, what did the Greeks want, and why were the Jews, what was the Maccabees, the Hashmonaim, what was their battle over? What was the purpose? What was the main point of contention? The Greeks, the Gemara tells us, right in the beginning in the Midrash, it says that we have 4 galuyot, Bavel, Madai, Yavan, and Edom. And the galut of Yavan, the Gemara tells us, is compared to choshech, to darkness, where they tried darkening our vision. And they made us write, as an example, on the horn of an ox, Al keren hashor, write, she'en lahem helek be'elokei Israel, write that you don't have a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is no connection with you and God. God is up there, God is big, and you are small, we are small, we are down here. Don't think that you're better than us, and don't think that you have a special relationship with Hashem. You don't. And this is what we fought with them over. It was literally this point. Yes, we do. We are connected with God here, there, everywhere, every single part of our lives, every day of our lives, on the battlefield and off. Hashem is with us. And we will never write, we will never teach our children, we will never put on our bumper stickers, we will never adopt your philosophy that God left us here, that He is uninterested. God is interested, God is concerned, God cares, and Hashem is connected to us. And so they went out and they risked their lives just to prove this point. We will fight to the death if we have to, but we will never adopt your philosophy. And so what's very interesting is that the Jewish people who went to this battle, and again the whole point was to prove, it was for them to defend their faith, that they are indeed connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So as a reward, God did something beautiful. As a reward, HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually showed us that He is there. When we came in to the Beit HaMikdash, to the sanctuary, okay, there was no oil. There was no oil to last for 8 days till they got pure oil from the north. Just again, not sure if you understand why 8 was important. When they took over and they regained control of the Beit HaMikdash, they needed to get more pure oil from the north in the tribe of Asher. 4 days to get there, 4 days to get back. They didn't have Prime Express back then, so you had to wait the full 8 days. So by the time oil comes, you're going to need 8 days, and you don't have enough oil for 8 days. You only have really one flask that's going to last you 1 day. What God did over here was really unnecessary. Hashem did a miracle for them, and He let the oil last for 8 days. And again, this is not a matter of life and death. It's not necessary. If it didn't happen, nothing really would happen at all. No one would die. You don't light the menorah for 8 days, okay? You didn't light it for the last few months, however long the Greeks were in charge. So whatever, leave it. God didn't have to do this miracle. It wasn't necessary. But that's exactly why He did it. Because the way you prove to someone that you love them, the way you show someone that you're there for them, is not in their time of need. It's not only for the staples of life, not only for the bare necessities, right? It's not only for the simple bare necessities, right? It's for everything. You want to show someone you love them? You give them extra, more than what they need. When a guy proposes to somebody, he doesn't give them a loaf of bread, okay? Don't try this at home, right? You propose with a diamond ring that they'll never need, because that's how you show love, with the extras. Matter of fact, we spoke about this in the past. We have a holiday called Sukkot, where we remember and we commemorate the clouds of glory that were in the desert. Why do we remember the clouds of glory? Why don't we remember the man? Why don't we remember the water? We don't have holidays for that. And again, you don't need a holiday for man, for bread, for water. Those are important and necessities. And that's not how Hashem proves love to us, by giving us the necessities. You know how Hashem proves his love to us? When he gives us things that we don't need. You don't need the clouds of glory, but I'm going to give it to you anyways, to show you that I'm here, to show you that I care. And that's how one shows love. That's how one proves their love. We find examples of this time and again. When David HaMelech, as an example, killed Goliath, when he kills Goliath, and naturally, if you, according to the laws of physics, imagine he's, boom, shooting a slingshot. He shoots a rock, and it penetrates right into Goliath. Goliath naturally should fall back, but instead Goliath fell forward. And again, our rabbis say this was a miracle. Hashem brought Goliath's head a bit closer to David to save David that trip of having to walk the extra 6 feet to the back of his head. Instead, his head fell forwards. So again, these are small things. They're not important things. But it's in the detail that we show our love. When you give your kids a Hanukkah gift, I hope, right, we don't just give them the box of, Settlers of Catan or whatever we bought them. You don't just hand them the box, right? You take it out of the Amazon box that you ordered in, because today who's going to actual toy stores, right? We just get everything online. So you take it out of the Amazon box and you wrap it. Some people are super lazy, so they just wrap the Amazon box, That's like a different level, right? But we hope, right? You take it out, you wrap it, you put a little bow, all the extra details. So when the Maccabees came into the Beit HaMikdash, and specifically the oil lasted for 8 days, that was God showing and confirming, yes, we do have a special connection. And so every single year, and this is the point, going back to the Gemara's question of my Hanukkah, not what's Hanukkah, but why is Hanukkah? Why is Hanukkah a holiday? And the answer is because the message of Hanukkah is super important. The message of Hanukkah, and we need to remind ourselves of this message every single year. And the message is supposed to carry throughout the year. And that message is that Hashem is with Am Yisrael. Hashem rests amongst us. We remind ourselves that we do have a bond, a relationship with Him, and it's ongoing every single day. And by the way, it would be very, very big error. It would be a super big error for a person to light the menorah on Hanukkah, internalize the message that Hashem is with us during Hanukkah, and then to forget that message and leave it there on the day and not carry with them throughout the year. That would be a big error. To light it for 8 days and to leave it here, see you next year, is a big mistake. The goal is to take that message of Hanukkah and to carry it throughout the year, to remember that God is always with us. So was there a battle? Yes. Was there a big miracle? Yes. And we're going to remember that, and we say it in the Al HaNisim 100%. But the main message and the why do we celebrate Hanukkah, is to remember that Hashem resides amongst Israel. And that is shown to us from the miracle of the oil. So every night when we stand there around the menorah, tonight when you stand there lighting the 4 candles, and you're gonna light it and sing the songs with our families, we need to also remember what the menorah stands for. The menorah, as we stare into those flames, as we stare into the fire, the menorah is there to remind us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here with us today, in the Galut, 2,000 years later. Hashem is here with us even now. The Greeks wanted us to adopt a philosophy that God left us, that He doesn't care about us. And the message of Hanukkah is He's here with us every single day of our lives. What's very interesting is the Gemara tells us the following. If you paid attention, the Gemara says, Leshana aheret, the next year, kab'um ve'asa'um yamim tovim. They made it into a Yom Tov. What is a Yom Tov, my friends? Could somebody please tell me what's a Yom Tov? We'd love to hear this. Anyone? What's a Yom Tov? Yom Tov is not a good day. You don't tell someone today, Yom Tov. What's a Yom Tov? Yom Tov is a holiday, okay? It wasn't a trick question, by the way. Okay, it was a simple question. Yom Tov is a holiday. Okay, could someone tell me, please, the holidays that we have? What's a Yom Tov? When you say B'chat Hamazon, right? There's a small insert for Yom Tov. You have Yom Tov is Pesach, Yom Tov is Shavuot, Yom Tov is Sukkot, Yom Tov is Rosh Hashanah. You have Yamim Tovim, right? Would you call Hanukkah Yom Tov? I don't think so. I mean, hope not. We're on Zoom right now, right? It's not a Yom Tov. Maybe it's a Mo'ed. Maybe it's a day that we meet with God. But it's not a Yom Tov. Yom Tov is a day that we abstain from work. We stay away from doing melacha. In what way, shape, or form is today a Yom Tov? There's no work that we do today. There is a lot of work that we do today. There's no work that we abstain from today. We're allowed to do any melacha you want. Matter of fact, from all the holidays of the year, include the Rabbanans, include the Rabbi holidays. The one that imposes itself least on our day-to-day life is which holiday? Is Hanukkah. Even Purim, it's like I don't want to say schlep, but Purim imposes. Purim disrupts the day. Purim, what do you got to do? You literally have to stop, have a mishteh, leave work early, whatever it is, Megillah. There's things. I have to deliver, mishloach. But today, Hanukkah, you're going to shul anyways. Today, let me tell you something. Today is no different than any other day of the year. You go to work, you pray in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you pray Arbit, you're adding a 20, 30 second prayer of Al Nisim, you're doing an extra Hallel, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you light the menorah, you go on your day-to-day life like nothing happened. Whatever you usually do, keep doing it. And that's the point, Rabotai. That's the message of Hanukkah. Whatever you're doing, whatever is your day-to-day, remember, keep doing it. And remember that Hashem is with you. Don't stop and go spend the day in shul. You know, it's a big, big problem. It's a big problem that you think about it. We have Shabbat, it's beautiful. But a lot of people make a big mistake and they think that Shabbat means that now when it's Shabbat, I connect to God. It's Shabbat, I'm in shul all day. It's Shabbat, I put my phone away. But what happens the second Saturday night comes? The second Shabbat's over. We're pulling out our phones. We're going back to business. We're going back to the day-to-day. We completely forget about Hashem. I'll see you next Friday. Right? Good luck. And Hanukkah is actually making a holiday out of the day-to-day life. Today is a Yom Tov in the sense that we're bringing Hashem into our lives even now. Keep doing what you're doing, the regular stuff, the regular motions, but remember that Hashem is with you. Remember that Hashem is here with us every part of our lives. That's what the menorah, that's what the candles remind us of. Now usually, by the way, when it's a Mo'ed, we go to meet God. We go to the temple, we go to the shul. But on Hanukkah, this is a beautiful message, Hashem comes to us. On Hanukkah, God says, don't leave work. Stay in your office. Go to your gym. Go do your regular schedule. Whatever you're doing, you're jogging, everything, keep it the same. I'll come to you. And this is what we do. Today, it's for the 8 days of Hanukkah. Hashem comes to us, and hopefully we keep that feeling with us throughout the entire year. You know, there is a very interesting concept when it comes to the holiday of Hanukkah, and that is Pirsumei Nisa. Pirsumei Nisa means to put the menorah right by the window where there's the common traffic. But not only to put it where there's the regular traffic, where the passerbys are, but even, does anyone know the ideal height? By the way, this is a trick question. Anyone know the ideal height of the menorah? Ideally, again, this is not required. You're still yotzeh. We all know under 20 amot, it has to be under 30 feet. But what's the ideal measurement? The ideal measurement is actually under 10 tefahim. Okay? Above 3 tefahim, under 10 tefahim. Okay, it's super low, by the way, and almost nobody is fulfilling that today because you're putting it on a window, on a ledge, something high. And again, that's 100% kosher. But if possible, and especially if you're putting it by your door, then ideally you should put it under 10 tefahim. Why? Because we know under 10 tefahim is what we call the reshut harabim. It's the public thoroughfare. If you learn halachot Shabbat, under 10 tefahim is reshut harabim, and then above is a different reshut, is a different domain. So the public domain, the traffic, the thoroughfare, everything is under 10 tefahim. That's the message of Hanukkah. The goal of Hanukkah is to bring and the menorah and to remind ourselves that Hashem is present in the day-to-day sphere of human activity. Don't stop and come to shul and spend the whole day with your family. No, do whatever you're doing, the regular day-to-day stuff, and bring Hashem there with you. Amazing concept. And we could take it even a step further. This is beautiful. Watch this, my friends. Where, if one is placing the menorah by the door, ideally it should be put, just again, recap some of the laws. Ideally, you should put it right by the street, the front door of your house, on the outside, so that people are walking by can see the menorah, they can see the candles. And it's also going to be by your door. On which side of your door? So the halakha says to put it the left side of your door. Okay, how many feet is that? Okay, good. So going back to the previous concept, 10 tefachim, someone's asking. So a tefach is around 8 centimeters. So 80 centimeters. So a centimeter divided by 2.5, let's say is 32 inches. Okay, 32 inches. Ideally under 32 inches. Okay. Now going back to the mezuzah, very good. By the door, the mezuzah on the right. When you come into your house, the mezuzah is on the right, and you should put the menorah on the left, so that you're surrounded by the mitzvot. Okay, beautiful. Now again, today, most of us can't really put it by the door on the outside. They'll blow out or whatever the situation is. So instead, you don't put it by the door, or if you live in an apartment building, you can't put it by the door because then no one's going to see it either, because your door is just a hallway to the building. So put it by the window where more people will see it. But if possible, you should do it by the two at the same time, in a public place where people will see it, and by your door. And if you're putting it by the door, it should be on the left side of the door. So you have the mezuzah on the right, menorah on the left. But my friends, if that's the case, let me ask you a question, an easy question. Then when is your mezuzah on the right of you? When is the menorah on your right? When is the menorah on your right? Just think about the guy. Here's your mezuzah, here's your menorah. When is the menorah on your right side? The menorah is on your right side when you're leaving the house. When you're leaving, you're going into the world, and you're going to the day-to-day life. You're going through your regular schedule, your day, your regimen, your daily schedule. Now the menorah on your right side when you're going out into the world. And again, take the menorah with you throughout your life. Take the menorah with you every single day. When you come into the house, the mezuzah is there. But when you leave the house, the menorah is there. Again, the message of reminding us that Hashem is always here. And when we look at the mitzvot of the day, Hallel, what is Hallel? It's not just praising a random God. It's praising our God, that we have a connection to Him. We say, Mika Hashem Elokeinu, right in the beginning of the paragraph. Who is like our God, Hashem Elokeinu? When we gave thanks to Hashem, it's not just thanking God for random stuff. It's thanking God for the miracles that He did to us. When we light the menorah, we realize that we must take this world, the day-to-day life, all the things that we do, the mundane, and that's the Jews' challenge, to elevate the mundane, to elevate the daily experiences that we have, to make everything holy, to take the tameh and make it tahor, the Rabbi, right, the temeim beyat tehorim. Maybe a little bit, that's our purpose on Hanukkah. So what do? We take olives. We take olives, something physical, and we smash them and we make oil out of it, and we elevate the oil. We elevate the physical olives and we make a mitzvah out of it. We express that even olives can be used for mitzvot. So this is, again, I think something amazing about the holiday of Hanukkah, realizing that we are always to remember that Hashem loves us, that Hashem is connected to us. He showed that to us by letting us have the oil last for 8 days. But also to remember that we must go throughout our day and connect to Hashem in every single area of life. Not just in shul, not just when we're doing mizvot, but even in the regular mundane activities. How do we connect to Hashem, by the way? So the truth is very simple. The way to connect to Hashem, the easiest way to connect to God is through the mitzvot that we do. You know, what does mitzvah mean? If I were to ask you, what does a mitzvah mean? Anyone know what's a mitzvah? Mitzvah means a commandment, right? But actually mitzvah means something else. This is a trick question. What else does mitzvah mean? Mitzvah, also very good. Wow. Very good, Dina. Mitzvah, from the word letzavot, tzav is also to connect, to accompany. Yeah? So when we have a mitzvah, it's not just a commandment, but really, that's a mistake maybe. Not a mistake, but that's not the full translation. Really, a mitzvah is something that connects us to Hashem. And so my question to all of us today is, how do we view the mitzvot? Do we view them as commandments, or do we view them as a way to connect to God? Do we view the mitzvot as an obligation or as an opportunity? Is it something that I have to do, or is it something that I realize I want to do? And the attitude will be very different. If I view the mitzvot as a nuisance, if it's a commandment, then I'll do it. But I'll do the minimum and then I'm out. But if I realize that the mitzvot is an opportunity to connect me to my Creator, an opportunity for me to emulate my Creator, the mitzvah is an opportunity. If I offered you right now $1 million, you would come and take it. And then if I called you the next day, I said, here, I have another $1 million. You wouldn't say, oh, I already did it, I'm good. Oh, you already gave me, I don't want. No one would say that, right? If you would, then maybe you should go check yourself into to a center. I don't know, you got to check yourself out. But no one declines an opportunity. If we view mitzvot as opportunities, then we're not going to get annoyed when there's more to do. We want to do the maximum, not the minimum. And that's why there's such an emphasis on the holiday of Hanukkah when it comes to Hidur mitzvah. You know, the minimum is 1 per night. So on night 1, light 1. On night 2, light 1. On night 3, light 1. On night 4, you get it? Okay, fine. So 1 every night. But if you want to do better, then do, how many people in your family? 5 in your family? So do 5 on night 1, 5 on night 2, 5 on night 3. And if you really want to do better, mehadrin mina mehadrin, then here's what you do. You do 1 on the first night, 2 on the second night, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. And the only holiday that we have so many layers of better and better and better and better and better, maximum. Why? Why is Hanukkah that holiday that symbolizes doing the maximum? Because Hanukkah is the time of our year where we realize and we internalize that the mitzvot are not obligations, but they're opportunities. And when something's an opportunity, I'm looking to do more. I'm looking to gain more because it's for me. So I want to do extra. I want to do the maximum. That's the message of Hanukkah, a beautiful message. And maybe with this we end. We could just add one more beautiful thought. We know that on Purim, there's a mitzvah to have a mishteh. There's a mitzvah to have a feast, a meal. Okay, we love that mitzvah, right, of Purim. There's no such mitzvah on Hanukkah. No mitzvah technically to have a mishteh. You can't fast, but you don't have to have a meal. Okay, there's no mitzvah to have a meal on Hanukkah. But the Ramah does say, but if you say Dvar Torahs, You say a nice, sing songs, kosher songs, of course. Then you make it into a mitzvah. You make it into a meal. You make it into a seudah. What does that mean? What is the Ramah saying? If there's no obligation, then what are you trying to do exactly? If you have to have a meal, then have it. And if you don't have to, then why are you trying to make a meal out of nothing? I'll give you an example. On a random Wednesday, do I say, all right, guys, listen, when you're out to lunch today, try to say Dvar Torahs so that you make your meal into a seudah. Why should I look for a seudah? It's not Rosh Chodesh, right? So what's Hanukkah? Is there yes an obligation or is there no? If yes, then have it. And if not, then why are you trying to make it? But that's exactly, again, the point. The point of Hanukkah is setting the tone for the whole year, to take everything, even a seudah, even a meal, even my lunch, and figure out how to elevate it, to take olives and to do a mitzvah out of it, to realize that I'm connected with Hashem, that I am a tzavot, I am a mitzvah. I have a relationship with God, that He wants to have a relationship with me in every area of life, both of my religious areas, my day-to-day areas, to take God with us. Okay, so men, we wear this on our heads. We remind ourselves that Hashem is with us. Ladies have their laws of tzniut. Everybody has something to always carry with them, that constant day-to-day reminder that we have God in all areas of life. We should be zocheh to feel that connection, to always be able to see the beauty of the mitzvot, realizing that they are opportunities to come ever closer to Him. Okay, we'll stop over here. Have a wonderful day. Hanukkah Sameach. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.